Hello friends. For our yoga practice today, I have 2 blocks that I'm going to be using. The blocks are optional. You don't have to use them if you don't have access to them, or if you just prefer not to use that, that's fine. The reason I like to use the blocks is it's just an adaptive form of yoga that doesn't necessarily have to be or shouldn't be looked at as a crutch. It's just a way to change position in our body to allow the body to feel something different, and then we have a different type of opening and a different type of a stretch. So don't ever let the block be a mental block. Sometimes, like, I just can't use that because I don't need a crutch. It's not a crutch in any way. It's a tool to help modify the position as we go through. That would be the same thing with using a strap. So you can grab a couple of blocks if you choose. We also have, with this practice, we'll be able to work it 3 ways. I will be in the chair for the majority of the practice. I will do some standing positions, but the majority of the time I'm going to stay seated. Again, I am still rehabbing through the hip, and so I am not full weight bearing on the legs. So when I do come to a full standing position, you might notice I have a little bend in the knee, just to keep myself aware and so I don't put full weight onto the leg. And I won't be bending past 90 degrees at the waist. So even if I cue you for a full forward fold, you can come into that full forward fold. Just know that I will not, because I'm still in that rehabilitation stage. So a chair practice is a good complement for anyone when you are in a rehabilitation stage, whether you have had a serious injury that you're rehabbing from, or maybe it's just an overuse, or maybe you slept wrong on the shoulder and it just feels uncomfortable to move. You can modify all of these positions through, okay? Always keep that in mind. We can take this to a full standing position. Again, anytime I stand with you, I may not stand the whole time, but anytime I do, I won't bear weight into the leg and I won't bend past 90 degrees. That's just my modification. You take it where you need to. It would be a good idea not to go past 90 degrees if you have any kind of low back or blood pressure issues. We want to keep the back as even as we can, and then we want to keep the head from going below the heart. We can also take this purely as a visualization practice, and we will work through visualization today as we practice, whether you are seated in the chair or you're in a full standing position. I mentioned this before, where we could go through a visualization practice, and this is good for anyone with any type of, again, injury to the body or paralysis in the body, to visualize the movements going through. I can't come into a lot of standing positions. I can't do a lot of the weight bearing in a lot of these positions, or most of these positions. So I can visualize my body going through with full weight bearing, with full extension in some of these positions, so that my mind will help in the healing process, allowing the body to remember what it felt like to come into these positions as we move through. This is also an excellent way to practice if either you or anyone close to you is going through treatment right now. Nausea, weakness, anything in the body that can cause us not to want to move or to be unable to move. You can just sit back. Again, I would maybe put some relaxing music on in the background as you work through this visualization. Visualize your body moving through. Again, it will help with the healing process, and it just helps us to remain connected to our body. It's very easy to become disconnected to our body when we can't move through at 100%. So have your blocks handy if you choose to use them. I'm just going to put mine to the side. If you want to remain in your chair in a seated position, take that seated position. If you want the full standing position, you can come into that now if you're not already there. We're going to take the breath into the feet and just pay attention to the grounding down through the feet. And I've talked about this before, but we want to make sure we ground down to the ball of the feet. So that's the actual part of the foot right before we get to the toes. We want to feel that connection with the mat, with the ground, and then we want to feel that connection through the heel. And you might gently just start to lift your toes up, feel that activation into the ball of the foot, and then gently relax the toes down. So the toes are down just to help maintain balance. We're not gripping with the toes at all as we move through our practice. Gently draw your breath up through your legs and just notice the stacking of the legs. Notice how the legs would stack, whether you are seated or standing. Bone on bone. Muscle strength holding the body in and up. And begin to take the breath gently into the lower part of the belly. Maybe resting right about the belly button. And start to draw the breath in from the crest of the hips, right about the hip bone, to the lower part of the rib cage. And in the lower part of that spine, begin to feel length through the spine. A little more space between each one of the backbones. Gently zipping that up, taking the breath from the lower part of the rib cage all the way up to the collarbone, feeling through the rib cage. And again through the spine, creating a bit more space between each backbone. Standing or sitting up a little taller. And taking that breath from the shoulders, from the collarbone, up through the neck and into the base of the skull. And then gently letting that breath just press to the crown of your head. Notice your full upright position here. One more deep breath. We're gently going to work through a visualization without any movement. Even if you are choosing to move through your practice today, I want you to visualize the movement first before we go through. I want you to think of drawing in a deep breath from the tips of your toes all the way up your body, up through the crown of your head. Feel your shoulders relax and roll back and down. Feel your belly engage. Inhale, visualize yourself sweeping your arms up and overhead, palms gently touching at the top. Exhale, release the hands back down to your side. This time incorporating movement if you choose. Breathing in from the tips of your toes all the way up through the crown of your head. Shoulders roll up, back, and down so that the hands rest at your side. Palms facing forward. Inhale, sweep the arms overhead. Bring the arms up just as high as you can. Maybe they touch at the top, maybe not. Just let them travel with the length of your inhale, and exhale, release your arms back down. 2 more. Let your arms travel the length that they can with your breath. Visualize the hands touching at the top, even if they are unable to, for whatever reason. Inhale, lift. Exhale, release. Once more, inhale, reach the arms up and overhead. And as you exhale, reach forward, coming into a full forward folded position. This would be a good place to use your block or your blocks if you choose for a little of support if needed. Two more deep breaths. Once more. Gently soften through the knees. If you're in a standing position, bend the knees. Everyone tuck your pelvis under and then think of rounding up one backbone at a time, stacking on top of the other as the shoulders roll up, back and down, palms face forward into our mountain pose. Inhale, sweep the arms up and overhead. Reach the arms up a bit higher and come into that forward fold as you exhale. Take 2 deep breaths here. Once more. Even if you may have issues with the breath and drawing a long breath in and letting a long breath out, again, visualize, think about drawing in a deeper breath. Soften through the knees, bend the knees if you're in standing. Everyone tuck your pelvis under, round up one backbone at a time, shoulders coming out, back and down, back into that mountain pose. Inhale, sweep the arms overhead. Reach up, out, and over one last time, coming into that forward fold. This time, we're going to add in a flat back. Inhale, exhale, and fold. Once more, flat back, inhale, exhale, and fold. Surrendering everything forward, small bend in the knees. If you're in standing, tuck the pelvis under, everyone. Roll the shoulders up, back and down, back into our mountain pose. Inhale, sweep the arms overhead. This time we're going to bring the hands down to prayer position right at heart center. We're going to hold this position as we breathe. Again, taking it through a visualization, we're going to inhale, visualize the arms coming up and overhead in that prayer position. Exhale, visualize the hands coming back at heart center in prayer position and sinking down into a yoga chair position if you are standing. Inhale, reach the arms up towards the ceiling, actively moving through here. And if you choose, visualize sinking down into that chair or actually move into your yoga chair position. Inhale, reach the arms overhead, coming to a full standing position. And once more, sink down into your chair, your yoga chair position. Inhale, lift the arms overhead. Reach the arms forward and come into your forward folded position. Flat back, inhale. Forward fold. Soften through the knees, tuck the pelvis under, round up one backbone at a time. Even if you are seated in an actual chair, you can come to a standing position here if you choose. Inhale, sweep the arms out to the side. Bring the arms forward in front. Palms come together. Flip the palms up towards the ceiling and then bring the hands into that yoga position or that prayer position. Inhale, reach the arms up towards the ceiling and sink down into your yoga chair position. You can come into a full chair position if you choose. Inhale, reach the arms overhead. Bring the arms out wide as you come into a full forward folded position. Inhale, add in a flat back. Exhale, fold forward. Bend the knees, tuck the pelvis under. Round up one backbone at a time to your full standing position, rolling the shoulders up, back, and down. You can remain standing or you can come back into that chair position. We're going to move through that 2 more times. Sweep the arms overhead. Bring the hands to prayer position at heart center as you sink down into your chair. Inhale, reach up towards the ceiling, full standing or full upright seated position. Swan dive the arms forward as you fold. Flat back, inhale. Forward fold, exhale. Soften through the knees, tuck the pelvis under, round up one backbone at a time, shoulders coming up, back, and down. Mountain pose. Inhale, sweep the arms overhead. Hands to heart center, chair, yoga chair position if you choose. Exhale. Inhale, reach for the ceiling. Imagine yourself 2 inches taller than you already are. Exhale, swan dive forward. working through visualization here. Lengthen through the spine into flat back as you inhale. Exhale, visualize your chest coming closer to your thighs as you exhale into forward fold. Lengthen through the spine. Visualize that space between each one of your backbones as you lengthen into flat back. Keep that space as you exhale and fold your chest towards your thighs. Again, you do not have to come any deeper here, just that visualization. Once more, lengthen out through the backbones. Fold forward. Soften through the knees, tuck the pelvis under, round up one backbone at a time, full seated position, full standing position, shoulders roll up, back and down. Good, we're gonna add into this just a bit. Inhale, lift up. Bring the hands to prayer position. Deep breath in. I'm going to use my left hand to press into my right hand. I'm gently going to twist to the right side. Then I'm going to ground down through my left foot. Inhale, use the right hand to press back to center. And then press into the left hand as we come over to the left side, grounding through the right foot. Inhale, come back to center. Reach the arms up and overhead. Keep the palms together if you can. Sink down into your chair as the hands come down to prayer position. Inhale, reach up for the ceiling and swan dive forward as you exhale. Flat back, inhale, visualizing that length through the spine. Forward fold, exhale. Once more, lengthen through the spine, inhale. Forward fold, exhale. Soften through the knees, tuck the pelvis under, round up one backbone at a time, shoulders coming up, back and down, palms facing forward. One more set here. Inhale, lift. Remain standing, bring the hands to prayer position or remain in your seated position. We add in that twist, lengthen through the spine, ground down through the left foot, twist over to the right side, pressing the left hand into the right hand. Press the right hand back forward, so we come forward, and then keep pressing over, small twist to the left side. Inhale, come back to center. Reach the arms up towards the ceiling, keep the palms together, sink down in your chair position, that yoga chair, small squat. Inhale, reach for the ceiling, and swan dive forward, exhale. 2 flat backs, inhale. Forward fold, flat back, and forward fold. Now if you have the block in front of you here, you may bring it with you. Bend your knees, soften through. If the block is not right in front of you, I'll give you a second to grab it here in just a moment. Come to your full seated or standing position. Block in front. We're going to take 2 breaths here. If you have a block close by, over to the side, you can grab it now. We're going to take it at its narrowest. We're going to progress through. So just notice, with the hands in prayer position, I don't have space between the hands. Here, this is just going to create a bit more opening through the chest. It's not that I can't bring my hands together. So again, a block is not a crutch to modify through. It's just a way to modify and change. When I modify a position, I change it up to make it either more accessible or more challenging. Okay, so we're just opening here. So we're going to move through that sequence using the block here. Inhale, lift up. Notice the change in the activation through muscles. Bring the block back down to heart center. Gently add that twist to the right side, pressing into the left leg to keep the hips centered. Press with your right hand into that block. Resist with your left hand, then twist over to the left side, grounding down through the right foot. Inhale, come back to center. Reach that block up towards the ceiling, and if you choose, sink down into a small yoga chair position as we bring the block to heart center. Inhale, stand tall or sit tall as we reach the block up towards the ceiling, and this time bring the block forward as you come into your forward fold. Use the block here to come into flat back and just notice the difference. Flat back, inhale. Forward fold, exhale. Once more, flat back, inhale. Forward fold, exhale. Soften through the knees. Again, take that block at its narrowest and gently round yourself up one backbone at a time. Fingertips are likely pointed down. We're going to point the fingertips towards the ceiling and roll our shoulders back and down in a full standing or a full seated position. Inhale, press the block up towards the ceiling. Remain standing or seated tall as we bring that block back down to heart center. Lengthen through the spine as we inhale, small press over to the right side as we exhale. Inhale back to center, left side exhale. Inhale back to center, reach the block up towards the ceiling. Sink into your yoga chair or that small squat position if you choose. Reach the arms up towards the ceiling again, full standing, full seated position, and forward fold, exhale. Place the block down. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Bend and soften through the knees. Drag that block up your body as you round up one backbone at a time. Flip the block so the fingertips point up towards the ceiling. Bring the elbows in. Press the block straight up towards the ceiling. Keep the elbows drawn in as close as you can and then come right back down in the center. One more time, and notice the difference. Notice the activation in the chest muscles. If this is too much for you, keep the arms out wider and then just take it up and back down. Hold the hands at prayer position here. Now we're going to take the block a bit wider and we're going to breathe here. So I want you to focus more on the stretch through the wrist and the opening through the chest. Lengthen through the spine. Visualization first. You can close your eyes if that's okay with your balance, and I want you to visualize the space between the chest, between the shoulders. Space between from the right shoulder joint over to the left shoulder joint and opening through the chest, and from the left shoulder joint to the right shoulder joint. Inhale, gently reach the block up towards the ceiling, just a bit overhead, just as high as your body will allow you to go. And then bring the block back down to heart center. Good. Now we're just going to activate through muscles here. I want a visualization first. Without moving the block, inhale. Think of pressing with the left hand and resisting with the right as you exhale. Inhale, gently release that. Again, the block isn't moving. Visualization first. Exhale, press the right hand into the left hand or into the block a bit more. Gently release. Now, moving through that, we're going to inhale, bring the arms overhead. Exhale, bring the block down to heart center. This is just a small activation through the chest muscles. We're going to press the left hand into the block, resisting with the right hand. Inhale and relax. Press the right hand into the block, resisting with the left. Inhale, relax. Reach the arms up and overhead and fold forward. You can use the block here in this forward fold. You can just shake out through the arms and let them hang long. We likely had a lot going on right through the front of the chest and right through the shoulders. You can come into ragdoll position if you need. Just breathe. Let that go. One more. We're going to bring our block with us one more time. Soften through the knees. Bring the block up the body, rounding up one backbone at a time, flipping the palms to face up towards the ceiling. Full standing or full upright seated position. Now, just one more time, we're going to take the block out wide. Now, elbows may need to come down a little bit more. You might be able to get more stretch through the wrist and bring it out wide. If this causes pain in the wrist, if you have any issues with carpal tunnel, you're going to want to come down a little bit more, maybe even more narrow here. Okay, play with that position. I'm going to take you through different positions just so that you can try them if you need to. We're going to bring the block up and overhead. Again, I'm just keeping the arms a little more relaxed here. Bring the arms back down. You can stay with that position, or I'm going to take the arms out a little wider. I'm going to press into the block as I reach up and overhead, activating. So this is a little more strengthening, bringing everything back down. This set, I'm going to bring the elbows in and press straight up towards the ceiling, and I get a whole lot of activation through the shoulders. Right back down. We're going to move through 3 more. Again, I'm going to go back to just that relaxed position if that feels good for you. Find the one that works for you and stick with that. Bring it back down unless you want that variation. Hands come out wide. Press, press, press into the block, reaching overhead. Notice where you feel that in the body. Bring it back down. This time I'm going to draw my elbows in and I'm going to reach towards the ceiling. I'm going to come right back down. I'm going to relax the arms at my side. I'm going to lift straight up. And we're going to come into that forward folded position. Relax through the head, through the neck. Again, you can shake out. You can use the block for support if you need. Or just shake out and release. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Once more. Bringing the block with you, tuck the chin under, round up, one backbone at a time, softening through the knees and just dragging the block up the body. And just holding. So, you know the movements through. I'm going to start with the block out wide. We're going to do 3 sets. If it feels better to take the block at its narrowest, I'm eventually going to work to this position. So you can take it here if you want, or you don't have to use the block at all if you choose. We're just going to move through some side bending positions and some overhead salutes. So again, I'm going to start with it nice and wide. Find that comfortable seated or standing position. Inhale, reach the block up and overhead. As you exhale, small side bend to the right side, pressing the block in with the left hand, resisting with the right, coming back to center. Over to the left side, exhale. Inhale, center. Hands to heart center here. Deep breath in. Full breath out. One more breath here if you choose, or you can change position with the block. Take it here. I have to think about which position I wanted my block in. Inhale, reach the arms overhead. Side bend to the right. Center. Side bend to the left. Notice that activation in your core muscles. Inhale, center. Hands to heart center and hold here. Again, you can keep the block in this position, the previous position. You can take it back out wide, or you can take it more narrow here if you choose. The last set through. Inhale, lift. Side bend. Center. Side bend. Center. Hands to heart center. Sink into a chair if you choose. We're coming back into a forward fold. Come to a full standing position. Reach up. Reach forward and fold. Exhale. Ragdoll position here in your forward fold. Seated or standing. Breathe. Excellent work. 2 more breaths. And just shake out the shoulders as you need to. I know that's a lot of work. It's a lot of work in the chest, it's a lot of work in the shoulders, and it's work into the back. Relax the hands if you're in ragdoll position. You can bring the block with you if you want. You don't have to do anything fancy to come to stand, but just come all the way up to your full standing or seated position. we're gonna work a little bit through the hips. Again, I'm gonna demonstrate on one side and then I'm gonna cue you through as we move through. I will not do it on my right side, left side for you because of the restrictions that I have, okay? We're going to work into a chair position and we're going to work into a tree position. So I'll only be showing half of this. Now, if you want to, you can take the block down by the foot at whatever level feels comfortable for you. You can take one to either side of the foot if that feels good. When we come into that tree position, we can take the block to, or we can take the foot to the block if we choose. Shoulders roll up, back, and down. We come into our mountain pose. Feel the engagement through the belly. Feel the lift through the crown of the head. Release through the shoulders. Inhale, arms come up and overhead. Sink into your chair position as you bring your hands down to prayer position. So if you are in an actual chair, just think of pushing your hips back a little bit more as if you were squatting. Come to that full standing position as you inhale. Bring your arms out to the side at shoulder height as you exhale. Right leg, toes lift up, and you can bring it onto the block if you choose. We're going to spin the foot out to the side, just opening into tree. We're going to bring that back to center, and then gently land the foot as the arms come down. Now, if that block gets in the way, you can keep it out to the side, or we can just add the twist in here. That might be the safer option. Shoulders come up, back, and down. Sweep the arms overhead. Hands to prayer position as you sink down into your chair position. Reach up towards the ceiling. Bring the arms out to the side. This time, left foot, toes come up. And then we gently turn that left knee out to the side. Inhale, bring it back to center and gently land. Relax the shoulders back and down. Inhale, lift up. So if any of this, sink down in your chair, does not feel or seem accessible to you today, modify through as you need, or just come to a standing or a seated position, arms out to the side. And just visualize lifting up on the toes on the right side, spinning the knee out to the side, bringing it back to center, and releasing down, releasing the arms as well. Inhale, sweep up. Sink into your yoga chair position. As you come down, prayer position with the hands, reach the arms up and overhead. Arms come out to the side. Lift up on the toes on the left foot, spin that left knee out, bring it back in, and gently land. Inhale, lift up. I know arms are tired, legs are tired. Sink down into your chair position. Reach for the ceiling. Swan dive forward and exhale. Now if you have the blocks down at the floor, you can use one on either side and just release through here. Bend the knees, tuck the pelvis, and we can round up one backbone at a time. Shoulders coming up, back, and down. Perfect. Take 2 breaths here. One more. Excellent. We are going to come down to a seated position. The legs are going to come out in front. So you're going to have a fully extended position here. I have to keep a little bend in my knees just to help to protect through the hip. So your legs would be extended out long. If you are in a chair position, or seated in a chair rather than on the floor, extend the legs out as long as is comfortable for you. If you need, you could also use one or both blocks to find a little more lift into the legs. Here. Just to flatten out through the feet if that feels comfortable, if that makes this position a little more accessible to you. Okay, nice big inhale, full exhale. I'm coming out of the position again just because of my modifications. Roll your shoulders back and down. We're going to place the hands right by the hips and we're in a staff pose. So a staff pose, I'm creating a big L with my body. So I have the torso from the crown of my head all the way to my hips and my tailbone lifted up nice and tall. Wrists are going to come right by the hips. Elbows pointed just straight back. And then you can straighten the arms if the arm length allows for that. You may have a longer torso than your arms, and if that's the case, then you may not be able to extend the arms fully. If that is something that you feel, you could even place the blocks under your hands and you could find more lift there. Of course, you have to play with it because sometimes then you're lifting your hips up and that may not be the position we want to come into. So just make sure the elbows are not flaring out to the side. They're either straight back or the arms are extended fully. Nice big inhale here. Gently just tuck the chin towards the chest. Gently bring the head back to center. Bring the right ear towards the right shoulder. Bring the head to center. Chin to chest. Head to center. Left ear, left shoulder. Head to center. Chin to chest. Back to center. We're going to work into the core here. So you can add a little bend into the knees if that feels more comfortable, more doable. It doesn't take much. You should already feel the core right here just with the legs extended. Or with the hands by the side, or you can bring them towards your lap or in front. Nice big inhale. Exhale, press the upper body back just a little bit. Doesn't take much. Inhale, come up. Relax the shoulders. Sweep the arms overhead. Reach for the ceiling and forward fold. Exhale, reaching towards the toes. Again, you never have to touch them. You never ever have to touch them. We're reaching in that direction. We're going to take 3 more breaths here. Visualization. Inhale, flatten out through the back. You can physically fold a bit deeper, but visualize yourself coming into a full forward fold with your chest resting along your thighs. Inhale and exhale. Inhale. Visualize yourself deep in that forward fold, not forcing it, just picturing it. Gently tuck the chin and round yourself up one backbone at a time. Shoulders come up, back and down. Again, this is a good position. Slide the hands back into that staff pose. Keep your toes active, toes pointed towards the ceiling. All right, in that full staff position, reach nice and long. So this is a good place for me to have to modify. I can't come into a full forward fold right now just because that restriction is I have to be at 90 degrees. But I can visualize my body going deeper into that so that when I do not have those restrictions, my body should hopefully be able to progress back into them a little more easily, make the position a little more doable. Deep breath in, full breath out, press the upper body back. Brace through the belly, shoulders release back and down. Hold here, take 2 more breaths. I know it's challenging, but the core is where we need to draw strength from. One more deep breath. Lengthen up through the spine and full forward fold. Deep breath in. Visualize yourself going deeper. Deep breath in. Visualize going deeper. Deep breath in. Visualize going a bit deeper. Take a deep breath here. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Round up one backbone at a time. Back into your seated position. Shoulders come up, back and down. Inhale, bring the arms overhead. Reach forward one more time. Flat back, inhale. Forward fold. Flat back. Forward fold. Relax here and visualize yourself just as deep as you can into this position. And gently round yourself up one backbone at a time. Shoulders up, back and down. Option to use the block here. If you choose, we're going to come back into some seated twisting positions with the legs out long. Our challenge here is to try to keep the feet from shifting in front of each other. So hands to prayer position with or without the block. If you like the opening wider with the block, then by all means use it. If you prefer not to, you do not have to. Inhale, sweep the arms up and overhead. Bring the arms back down to prayer position. Stop right at heart center. Lift up through the spine and gently press over to the right side. Inhale, come back to center. Reach the arms up and overhead. Bring the hands back down to prayer position. Lengthen up through the spine and press over to the left side. Back to center. Reach the arms up and overhead. This time open the arms slightly and reach up out and over into your forward fold. Flatten out through the back as you inhale. Surrender forward as you exhale and breathe. Again, you may visualize yourself going deeper into this position. Inhale and exhale. Gently tucking the chin and coming back to your seated position, rolling your shoulders up, back, and down. We'll do that set once more. Again, legs are out long. We'll get a break from in just a minute, I promise. Belly engaged. Inhale, bring the arms overhead. Hands to prayer position as you exhale. Lengthen the spine. Inhale. Twist to the right side. Exhale. Back to center as you inhale. Reach up. Sink down. Lengthen the spine. Press over to the side. Back to center. Reach up. I didn't mention this before, but if you have the block, you don't have to take the arms any wider because they should already be wider. Reach forward. You can even think of trying to reach that block past your feet as we come into your forward fold. Flatten out the back. Inhale. Forward fold. Exhale. Once more, flatten out the back. Inhale. Release, forward and fold. Exhale. Take 2 more deep breaths here. Inhale. And exhale. Gently begin to round yourself up one backbone at a time. Shoulders coming up, back and down. Perfect. We're going to bend the knees now. We're going to roll yourself down into a position to prep for bridges. So think of, you can hold onto your legs if you need, but round through the back and bring the back nice and flat along the mat, along the floor, knees are bent. If you are staying in your chair, you may want to just bend the knees and bring the feet up towards a block just for a little more lift here. Again, if you have precautions similar to mine, you may not bring the knees past 90 degrees. We're gently going to work into our bridging positions. But I want you first to think about the visualization, think about the movement through, and the tucking of the pelvis under. Brace through the belly as you inhale. Just tuck the pelvis under. Feel that flattening out either to the back of your chair or to your mat. Gently release as you inhale. Exhale, rock the pelvis forward. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, gently feel the back raise up or away from the chair or the floor. And then flatten out as we exhale. Now 2 more. You can continue with this, or you can start to progress into a full bridging position. Just what feels better for you. 1 more here, just releasing through the spine. Tucking the pelvis under. Sticking with that, or switching the breath just a little. Inhale, lift the glutes up. Now, if you choose, you can just in the chair activate through the glutes as you lift up, and then slowly start to release as the hips would come back down towards the mat. Inhale, squeeze, lifting, pressing the hips towards the ceiling or activating through the glutes if you're seated, and release back down. 3 more. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Once more, inhale and exhale. Just gently release through the hips. You can hug the knees in towards the chest. So if you are down on your back, you're going to come into more of a windshield wiper position in just a moment. And I want you to think of releasing through the low back. We're going to take it through visualization first. If you are seated like I am, we're going to keep the legs centered and we're going to turn through the shoulders. So we still get that movement through the spine, but we don't have to drop the legs to one side or the other. We're moving through the upper body. Same position through, we just don't have to come onto the floor to do that position. So I want you to think up. Whether you're seated or you're lying down, lengthen through the spine. So from the tailbone through the crown of the head, find as much length as you can. Relax your shoulders down and away. Again, we're visualizing this first time through. Keep visualizing the length through the spine as we inhale, and then gently feel the knees come over to one side or the shoulder press towards one side. Gently bring everything back to center. Again, we're visualizing, and we're going to come the same thing over to the left side, visualizing that movement. Everything back to center. Choosing to visualize or to move through. Nice big inhale. Exhale, the knees can drop to the right side or the right shoulder can come to the right if you are in a seated position. Inhale, come back to center. Left side. So I didn't mention this, most of you know, but if you are on your back, inhale, come back to center. Arms should be out at a T to help ground through the shoulders. Good. Coming over to the right side, back to center, and to the left side, to the center. One more flowing set through to right, to the center, and to the left, to the center. Now you can drop over to the right side once more and take 3 more deep breaths here. 2, and 1. Gently coming back to center. Same thing to the left side. Deep breath in and out. In and out. Deep breath in and out. Gently coming back to center. You can once again draw your knees in towards your chest if that feels comfortable. And then either with one or both knees, you can make gentle circles to the right side. If you are seated, maybe just take one leg and make that small circle. We're just massaging through, milking through that hip flexor. You can gently change direction. These can be as big or as small as you need them to be. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Switching legs when you're ready. If you're doing one side. Changing the direction of your shoulder or your circles if you need. Breathe. Lengthen through the spine, draw everything back to center and relax through the shoulders. We're going to take a full body stretch and we're going to get ready for a relaxation. Lengthen through the spine completely and maybe a small side bend over to the right side, creating that banana shape with the body. Coming back to center. And then the left side. And back to center. Lengthening out once more. And releasing the hands to your side if you choose. Again, find a position where you can quietly be still as we move through our relaxation. Find length through your body. And breath. So again, we work visualization here. Visualizing the full length of the body. Visualizing release as you breathe out. Listen for your breath. Visualize its movement through your body. Visualize it stretching and lengthening through your body. Maybe especially into any areas where scar tissue may be present. Visualize a lengthening of that scar tissue, a releasing of the scar adhesions. Breathe. Visualize yourself sinking into your mat. Finding release. Maybe visualize yourself sinking into bed. Into a beach towel and sand. Maybe it's a cloud. Just feeling yourself engulfed within your body. Supported and able to release and breathe. Visualize your rest, allowing yourself to let go. Visualize that peace and stillness. Breathe. body softening. Visualize your release. Notice the rise and the fall of your chest. Notice the length of your arms. Notice space within your body. Breathe. Very gently, you may turn your chin towards the right shoulder. Breathe into the left side of your neck. Gently bring your head back to center. And then gently over to the left side. Breathing into the right side of your neck. Gently bring your head back to center. Your right arm, inhale, reach your right arm overhead, taking a full stretch through the right side of your body, maybe even a small side bend over to the left. And releasing that right arm back down. And the left arm reaches overhead. And a small stretch over to the left, to the right side. Gently back to center. Release. Roll gently onto your right side. Get a moment or two here to breathe. Gently coming to your seated position. The eyes closed again, visualizing a nice long spine. Shoulders back and down. Crown of the head pressing up. Shoulders released. Deep breath in. Full breath out. Deep breath in. Full breath out. One more deep breath in. Full breath out. Thank you, my friends, for joining me for practice today. Continue to visualize the movements through your day, creating more intentionality, creating more care, and just attending to where you need to be. Have a blessed rest of your day, and until we meet again, go with peace.